So hi everyone. Now this here again is my dad's bowling alley, and I will tell you, you know, back there I fell into the bowling machine that's right over there. I think it's about lane 7 because it's near the door and it's before those 4 lanes over there was put in. There was 8 lanes on this side of the house, like 8 cigarette butts. And you know, from just watching this video here again, the right hand side of the bowling alley don't have no bowling machines on, you know. Well, that's like the right hand side almost doesn't work, you know. That's what I've seen in the past in this here bowling alley. Lane 2, they had lane 2, it didn't work. It was like over there it's all broke down, like the left hand side, but it was really the Republican side that was involved in all this. You know, my dad had rolled out the red carpet with this bowling alley when this thing was first built. But I'll tell you, I fell into that bowling machine back there, and I was a kid, and I was riding up and down on the bowling machine like a toy. My dad was in Lexington, Kentucky, where AMF school is. So he got to be able to, you know, be trained as pin spotter, mechanic, whatever, you know, at the bowling center. So, and he needed the training because those bowling machines can be complicated, but they're not really that complicated if you know what you're doing anyway. So anyway, that's just it. Now, I'll go ahead and I'll run this, and I'm going to tell you the story. In this here bowling alley, I was over there in the bowling alley during a tournament when I came out here, when I was running the Chehalis Bowling Center, 1996, 1997. Right there, and they were trying to cover up my dad even being there. Billy O'Connor was there pushing a book that had all this about this bowling alley, but no history of my dad, like it was a big goddamn cover-up. And oh, I wasn't very fucking happy. There's my brother's shirt on my shirt. You know, they plastered across the United States. They've done the same thing to me. They put synthetic lanes on this. I was in this here bowling alley during a tournament, and here they're making all the announcements and stuff, and I'm over there, you know, it's like, hold up, you know, we got an announcement, and I was ready to practice bowl, you know. Okay, so we held up, and while I'm standing on the lane, like I'm standing there, but over on the other side of the house, I start singing my dad's song, you know, the big 18-wheeler's going down the track, singing my loving baby ain't coming back, and he's moving on. And so anyway, right then, all of a sudden, all of the bowling pins on this side of the lane, from right there to right back to about lane 4 or 5, starts just fingering like this from the very left of the bowling alley all the way going this way while I'm singing that song. You know, this is my dad's bowling alley. The bowling alley is haunted. See, this is Satan's bowling alley in Morton, Washington. I'm telling you that. This here was to house George L. Wright. 13 letters for the Zodiac is George L. Wright. This is where they housed my dad. I built this bowling alley with my dad, with a man named Hans and a man named John. Hans was the helper. Hans they called him. Hans, but it's Hans. You know, they called, because he was the carpenter's helper. And the other person that did it was Mitzi's brother or brother-in-law. He was short like Mitzi, so possibly it was her brother that did it, or brother, I believe. So anyway, this here bowling alley, you know, my brother Jerry, he tried to hit me, and he had a screwdriver in his hand, and his hand froze. And Jim, he came in and shot that boy in front of me, and he says, I just killed my best friend. I don't think he had any control over it, but you know what it is? It is. And anyway, this here bowling alley, what else happened in this thing? Oh, my sister Debbie, well, she's not my sister. That's my Bonnie. That's my sister Bonnie's child. They passed off as my sister. You know, nobody has red hair but except Bonnie. You know, like like that. And who the hell's Bonnie Tobeck, Bonnie Wright, Bonnie Jean Wright? You know, they have a J in the middle of their name. They think they're little fucking Jesus, just like Donald J. Trump. You know, Susan Jane Donahoe, Bonnie Jean Tobeck. You know, how about Ernie Tobeck? You know, Ernie was telling me he's figuring out how long he was supposed to live, and he was saying like 157 years old. And I told him, well, I said 147 just off the top of my head, but it's actually 148. You know, the Holy Father told me, Saint and Eve, you know, I'm going to be the oldest man in the history of the world when this is over, so everyone will know that it's absolutely true what is true. And I just want you to know that too. And the day of my death will be on my birthday at the age of 148 years old, if it's true. And that equals at the 13 years old, as I'm sitting here thinking, is the same time. I'm telling everybody the truth, even on the spot as I'm figuring things up. You know, I'm getting a cold turkey. The Holy Father's son's name is Joshua, and he's going to be back in 4024, and he'll be back on 10/17 of 4024. You know, a lot of things happened to me. And you'll never fucking be me. And you'll never have to fucking burn in hell. You better pick Joshua inside the cup, outside the cup. You know, I'm just telling you the facts and the truth. Even Satan's in hell now. I'm out of hell. In a sense, I was between hell and the surface of earth in a way, I guess. I mean, because I'll tell you, as cursed as I was in everything that's happened, and I documented it, whether it's the tube sock killers in Mineral, Washington, and you can look it up, tube sock killers, Mineral, Washington. I started there putting all my information on there because my family broke into my house and they fucking tampered with my belongings and everything else. And Jerry L. Wright, you got goddamn baseballs of Matthew Thomas Wright's, and boy, I'll tell you what, you're gonna fucking burn for everything on that one. You stole those baseballs, Jerry. There is no goddamn doubt about it, because I know for a fact I heard it from his lips, I heard it from his mother's lips, and I fucking hear it after death even. You stole those stuff out of his property, and you knew those were his, and that was our stuff, and you goddamn violated a lot of things, Mr. fucking Wright. I'll tell you what, you deserve everything that you will receive and everything you have received. And if you think you've received lots of things, like, what does Jerry say? Oh, the one with the most toys when he dies wins, Jerry. That's just greed. And let's see, I fucked your wife, Jerry. How's that feel? I admit to it. If you don't take it as that, you know, fuck you. I tried. Oh, Pat, you're in. I fucked your wife too, but me and Pat laughed about it and everything like that, because Pat understands, you know, when you tell somebody the truth, you know, you just tell them the fucking truth, and either they accept it or not. And I'm telling you the truth all the way. And me and Pat had a great day, and Pat's blessed, you know. No matter how much anybody thinks whatever about Pat the Barracuda Urian, if Pat Urian gets a fucking hold of you, he got you. He got you. Pat the Barracuda, you know who he looks like? He looks like Shane McMahon. A version of Shane McMahon. Oh, yeah. And we just love talking about renewing this, you know, wrestling in this here area. You know, that would be fun. You know, I'd have Pat, Shane McMahon come out here. Not Shane McMahon. Better than Shane McMahon, because Pat's got a fucking sense of humor. Oh, fuck. And you know what the nice thing about Pat is Pat's down there fucking singing in Lewis County, but he's going down there and he's been doing karaoke down at the bars, and I'm sure Pat's just a landmark down there, because he always has been. I asked Pat, I said, are you still playing the guitar? He kind of gave it up. But I'll tell you what, Pat, your guitar playing sucked, but I still would sit there and listen to you now, wouldn't I? And I even told you it sucked before. I even told you you got a bad goddamn haircut too, you know. And And you said, you do too, John. And I said, you can't even think for yourself. And I'll tell you what, and that's because people have been accustomed to doing goddamn things. They can't think for themselves. You know, the ladies' bathrooms on the left-hand side, the men's bathrooms on the right-hand side. When I was in the Fairlanes Bowling Center and I gave them little cars and stuff over at the Fairlanes Bowling Center, which I got ripped off for $400,000. And I'll tell you what, if you don't think that I wasn't supposed to own that place, you go down to the Lewis County fucking courthouse and you look at the goddamn papers of the little red writing. The only person that was allowed to write in red was me. By the Holy Father, I already know that. These people are all fucking condemned. Every person that wrote in red writing on those papers, in those papers up there, and they fucked me on that thing, on that bowling center, those people are all fucking condemned. And ladies, you're out of the equation. Even Chuck's daughter. Fuck, I couldn't care less what the fuck you did. And I tell you what, you are not a bad looking little gal. You just got a bad fucking little attitude. You know what? I liked your mom too. You said Debbie's my mom. What's wrong with Debbie? Debbie's Debbie. Isn't that what the fuck I said? And I tell everybody the goddamn truth and nothing but the truth. You are who you fucking are. And I am who the fuck I am. And I'm telling you the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. I have a, you know, I applaud God Almighty for using me after everything I've been through. You know, I gave my life over to the Holy Father inside that theater where me and my dad was at. My dad is a Zodiac. He went to the theater and watched The Exorcist, and he talks about it, and he was right there. And I watched the Ten Commandments with Terry Lance Shortridge. Terry Lance Shortridge, he's buried next to Sherman L. Shortridge too. You know, everybody has an L in their name. I don't know, you know, and I know it has things to do with German because because Ernie Toback, he's like, I am German. You know what? We took you in, German. I told Ernie that too. Ernie, Hitler lost World War fucking II. You know, he may have ended up in Argentina and was excised out there, but and he got to live his fucking end of his life, and that is what I do goddamn believe happened with Hitler. I do not believe Hitler got goddamn murdered in the fucking bunker down below. And those people that was in the bunker down below did get fucking murdered, is what I get, and that's goddamn the truth. And by the way, Jim Jones Massacre, these people in Morton, Washington relished that when that fucking happened. And a lot of these here people that's old and stuff witnessed the John F. Kennedy murder, and they're all fucking living in post-traumatic stress disorder too. And then you're conned by the Jesus bullshit. And Jesus bullshit is bullshit from Satan. It's Satan's fucking lie. And by the way, Satan's in my fucking pocket. And if you fucking cross the Holy Father, the Holy Son, Eve, or Satan, Satan's going to come out and butcher you. You know, the Zodiac was saying, I can't control myself. I can't control myself. Well, I'm the fucking rock, and I'll tell you what. When I get agitated, you can't fucking control me. Matter of fact, no one can control me anyway. The only person that I fucking adhere to is the Holy Father. Now, Satan and Eve, I understand them, and I understand their desperate need for me to perform. And I don't have no problem with doing what's right because I gave my life over to the Holy Father. They didn't have to do the things that they've done in order to get me to do it because I gave my life over to the Holy Father. And that's where they fucking didn't grasp the level of me and the Father's love. Even though I'm a sinner. And Satan and Eve knew I was a sinner. I wouldn't touch Eve. If a woman says no, a woman means no. And Eve said, don't touch me, and I never. And I wouldn't cross the line with another woman either. You don't touch me and I won't touch you, but you touch me. And you be friendly to a certain way with me and be really goddamn cute. Me and you might hold hands and we might even kiss. And Misha down there at the 76 station, Misha, you're more than a woman for me. Now let's don't go there, because let's keep it friendly, because if we cross the lines, well, Misha's not interested in me. I hope it's only a friendship, and I think it is. But you never know, the blossom can happen. We both love that prime rib, don't we, Misha? We talked about that. Yeah. And I wish Misha's daughter a happy birthday, which was nice. And you know, there's good news. I always see good news and good things. Joshua inside the cup, Joshua outside the cup. Ladies, you're out of the equation. That doesn't give us an open door to do wrong. And all you men that fucking lean on these ladies for pussy and prostitution and all that, cross the line without no romance, flowers, and anything else, I'm just ashamed of you. So, you know, you're supposed to be proper and stuff with the Holy Father's Son, and you know, maybe the Holy Father's going to favor you too. You know, you please the Holy Father and you'll please me, and if you please me, of course you must have pleased the Holy Father, because I'm not looking for you to kiss my ass. Beach balls are bigger if you'd like to kiss one of those, is what I usually say. And I'll talk to you later. Bye. And there's MTM Mountaintop Music tonight. I just wanted to tell you guys, I have a lot of goddamn things on my mind, because I have to deal with the Holy Father and Satan and Eve and everybody in the top layer of hell. Hey, I'm the #1 rated star in hell. Hey, I got it going on. Woo! Hey, you know what? It is fun to know that at least one group of people is roaring for me and hoping that, you know, we'll make it. But the Holy Father will make it, because the Holy Father is in control. I gave it over to the Holy Father. I got the Bible. I've got the little contract. And if you look at the videos and stuff, look back at Friday the 13th of last year, where this all happened again. And I'm scared when the world goes like this, because you could be zipped right up 2,000 years ahead. Because when it does this, and when I get friction and it does this, like I've explained, it always advances in time. You can live your life, but bam, you're there, and the next thing you know, it's fucking Judgment Day is what I guess. And I like it right now. I love the people. Jerry, you know what? I say it's Joshua inside the cup, Joshua outside the cup. You know your hand froze. Chuck, you know, there's a lot of things you goddamn did, and you did wrong. You should have fucking contacted me before you ever did something like that. But I tried to look the other way. But I'll tell you what, by the way that you acted, what could I fucking say? Now,